It has a vault height of 22 meters, which is considerable for the time. This first cathedral of Coutances, dedicated to the goddess Notre Dame, wife of Odin and mother of Balder, presents a very recognizable Odinian sign, the three triangles of Odin. We also find the C Street, Agel, and the three circles linked to the Triskel and the Tricetra, the latter being the predominant symbol of the magnificent stained glass windows of the Cathedral of Chartres.
Voici un petit échantillon de preuves de l'identité odinienne de Notre-Dame de Chartres.
The Odal rune, associated with Odin, is discreetly present in the heart of the cathedral. As is the Ing rune. Other runes, more or less hermetic, are found inside the building. Odin's two ravens, Hugin and Munin, are represented at the western entrance, with a serpentine tail in the shape of an odal, thus attesting to their identity. The Triskel symbolizes the three weaver virgins, the three Norns, as well as Frigg, patron saint of weavers and mother goddess, wife of Odin. The Tricetra represents the link between the three weavers and Odin. Then there is the zodiac of the north portal of the cathedral, perceived as pagan by the Judeo-Christian tradition, and therefore inappropriate in a Christian church. The north portal is the most beautiful of the three, due to the importance of the North Pole in the Druido-Odinian religion. We also see a horned figure, symbolic of paganism, encapsulated in the Stan's rune.
Il y a les runes de l'horloge. Et Vase, la rune du cheval, ici sur une horloge qui symbolise le temps, figure Sleipnir, le cheval d'Odin.
Associated with stone and horse, suggesting that Notre Dame Cathedral is Odin's horse. Studies of the sarcophagi of the Odinian high priests, carefully preserved in the underground of Chartres, reveal symbols of great value. In the religion of Odin, priestesses were virgins and had authority over priests, while men could marry and start families. Healers, or druidesses, were also magnetizers and herbalists, living in communities, withdrawn from society. Their healthy lifestyle and knowledge gave them remarkable healing powers, but they were often hated by the Romano-Christian clergy. In the Celtic Nordic tradition, the Halloweens are represented by goddesses, often virgins, like the three Norns who weave destiny. At Notre Dame de Chartres, three virgins sit at the top of each portal, each surrounded by a triangle. Thus representing the symbol of Odin. Odin is called the Most High in the Edda, and this figure who dominates the western portal is one-eyed, like Odin. Standing on an octagon, representing the 8 legs of Sleipnir, Odin's 8-legged horse. This central portal echoes a place in Norse mythology called Litskjalf, the throne of Odin and his wife Frigg. from where they could see all that happens in the world. At the heart of the cathedral, some mythological representations have survived the destruction inflicted by the Christian inquisitors. 95% of the interior of the cathedral was painted and illustrated with scenes from the Edda. But all was destroyed by the Roman Church. The chrism, a mysterious esoteric symbol, is difficult to decode. And another equally mysterious sign is engraved on ancient cathedrals. In the year 1100, the Norman cathedrals attracted the attention of the Frankish kingdom, whose Christian faith was threatened by the beauty of the Odinian cathedrals. The more populous Christian kingdoms represented a threat to Normandy. To ease tensions with the Christian neighbors, the Druido-Odinian lodges created an order of chivalry, the Templars, which would serve as an intermediary between the two worlds. The Normans saw here an opportunity to spread the primordial religion in the West again and proposed to the Christians to build mixed cathedrals so that the two cults, Odinian and Christian, could coexist. However, the builders of these pagan temples were often perceived as demon worshippers, risking the Inquisition, which recalls the tragic fate of the Templars. Jacques de Molay cited Pope Clement and King Philip to appear before the tribunal of the true God, a tragic event that led to their deaths shortly after. Pope Clement V will die of a stomach ailment a month later, and Philip the Fair will die in the same year. The Templars, whose origins are linked to 9 knights who left for Jerusalem between 1118 and 1127, followed a regulation comprising 9 rules of exclusion, and the number 9, often associated with Odin, appears frequently in the Edda. Were the Templars or dignified? The Pagan created the order with 9 knights who left for 9 years in Jerusalem. 18 and 27 are 2 multiples of 9. The Templars created 9 provinces. The original Templar cross is composed of 9 circles, as is the Celtic cross.
Mais elle est également très proche de la croix celtique, chère aux druides.
Which has 8 vertices, the latter number linked to time and Hermeticism. In particular because Hermeticism allows one to cross time. This is why Odin's Hermetigent, the goddess named Frigg or Freya, is the great virgin and mother goddess, the one to whom the Notre Dame cathedrals are dedicated. Notre Dame is the great goddess, whose husband is Odin and whose son Balder. The latter has a wife, the goddess Nanna. Frigg therefore corresponds to the Christian Virgin Mary, Walda to Jesus and Nana to Mary Magdalene, the wife of Jesus, not recognized by the Church, transmitting their message through time. The Notre Dame cathedrals are the stone horse that carries the testimony of the Odinian past of our country. A religion that protected democratic values and philosophy. Because the religion of the Viking gods and goddesses teaches us to philosophize, to protect ourselves from manipulation, to be free. It is the only one to promote true democracy, and that is why it was fought by the occult power. Even today, the religion of the Houdinian virgins, although unknown to the public, is again under attack because it can only be seen from the sky. And today, thanks to Google Earth, we can read it and it is impressive. The pyramids of Giza, which symbolize the three triangles of Odin, are connected to the three hills of Newgrange, which represent the three circles, the triskel of the three virgins. Thanks to a significant distance of 1/10 of the Earth's circumference. So we have a valpnut connected to a triskel, God connected to the goddess. The Templars must have known this sacred connection. And this sacred connection is none other than a tricktra. Look, there is a connection between each hill and each pyramid, or three links. Now, each link is an arc of a circle, since the Earth is round. These three links are therefore a tripe train. The Templars must have known about this sacred connection between the pyramids and Newgrange and were ready to believe that they only built the cathedrals to highlight this connection. And this for two reasons. The first is that the very first large cathedrals built in Francia by the Templars are incredibly close to the sacred connection. The second reason that suggests that the invisible connection that steered Newgrange was targeted by the Templars is the main symbol that adorns the cathedrals, the tricktra. This Viking symbol makes the connection between the three angles and the three circles. And as we have seen, the tricktra symbolizes the sacred connection between the three pyramids of Giza and the three hills of Newgrange. So if the tricktra is the most present symbol in the cathedrals, it is to signify to us that the latter symbolize this sacred connection. Especially since the two other most present symbols are the three circles that symbolize Nukhrenge and the triskel, and the three triangles that symbolize Giza and the valpnut. The cathedrals are therefore part of the sacred message of the gods. Better still, they consolidate it. A 5,000-year-old message contemplates us. What could be more magnificent? If we study the orientation of Notre Dame de Chartres, we see that it is oriented to the northeast, with an angle that no researcher has been able to explain. This orientation was not chosen at random. It is to transmit a message to us. To discover the secret of the orientation of Notre Dame de Chartres, we must read the message of the gods. To do this, Simply use Google Earth and extend the direction pointed by the cathedral. We then discover that the cathedral is oriented towards Verden in Germany, but at the time, it was Saxony, the land of the Saxons, the clearing of Sachsenheim in Verden. 18 years later, in the year 800, Carolus Magnus, the exterminator of pagans, was proclaimed the new Roman emperor by the Pope of Rome. These dire events triggered the wrath of the Vikings. The genocide of Verden is indeed one of the main causes of the Viking invasions. 3 centuries later, the architects descended from Vikings oriented Notre Dame de Chartres towards the place of martyrdom of the faithful to the Odinian faith. It is through its orientation that Chartres Cathedral indicates its authentic spiritual origin and pays homage to the Odinian martyrs. The Templars were the Knights of Odin. They built Sleipnir. In other words, the cathedrals that represent Odin's 8-legged horse. The stone of the cathedrals is a medium that spans time. The cathedrals make available to all a message that remains to be decoded. To understand this hermetic message is to ride Sleipnir. The ancient sages had foreseen everything. They knew that one day, a man capable of riding Sleipnir would arise and bring back to life the message of the builders. What is happening today was written in the Edda, it is in the Gulfagening. While the gods are completely defeated following the death of Baldur, a situation that represents the death of the Odinian religion, a man named Hermod the Hardy arises to ride Sleipnir. He then goes on a quest and brings back a message from the past. The message of the Templars. A message of wisdom and truth, that of the primordial religion, that of the pyramids of Gizeh, the hills of Newgrange and Notre Dame. The cathedrals, these stone horses, carry the word of our ancestors, their values. They carry within them the message of the gods. By understanding Notre Dame, we realize the prophecy of the state. She predicted that one day, Hermod would incarnate to ride Sleipnir and bring back the message of the gods. A message that would revive the primordial religion for which the Templars and the Vikings sacrificed their lives. This is the moment in history. Notre Dame is the primordial religion, a princess to be delivered.